remarks you've made about a fairly reputable research company.
Yes, look, just to be clear, my problem is not with this particular poll. It's the fact that Ipsos has released a series of numbers, 3 sets of numbers over the last 6 weeks, which have fluctuated wildly. So back at the end of May, they said, for example, the DA was on 20% and the ANC was on 52%. Now, 6 weeks later, they're saying that the ANC is on 60% and the DA is on 13%. The last set of figures are based on a poll, and there are some limitations with that poll we can talk about, but the first set of figures just seem to be guesses. There was no poll accompanying them, and that kind of thing leads to a great deal of public confusion.
You don't think there could have been intervening circumstances, factors, that may have changed those numbers as wildly as you may think they are?
No, not at all. I mean, I wrote to the public director at Ipsos, Mari Harris, and asked her what poll the first set of figures were based on, and she said they were just her own opinion based on some information she'd seen privately.
Opinions? You put numbers on, to your opinions. That's rather strange.
Yes, that's the big problem. And the thing is that Ipsos has this reputation as a very reputable polling company. So if the head of Ipsos doesn't distinguish properly, and I think this is the problem between what their opinion is and what polls say, people merge the two things and think someone's opinion is fact when it's not.
Well, you've also dragged the media, needless to say, into this, saying that together with Ipsos, they are playing games with market research. But the fact of the matter is that the media reports on what both of us agree is a reputable company's study.
Yes, the problem is the way they report on it. There's nothing methodologically wrong with the poll, but it does have limitations in what it tells you.
As any research does.
Yes, but what's important is you have to make those clear to the public. So, for example, the poll has the DA and the ANC 2 percentage points difference between them in the Western Cape. But what has not been included in a whole many reports is that 31% of those people polled in the Western Cape did not decide or did not give their preference for who they would vote for. So if you don't report that and you only say those two parties are neck and neck, you're basically taking a picture of a room of a whole lot of people and only showing some of the people in it and saying they represent the whole room. And that's the fundamental problem with these polls, is they don't give you the full picture.
I'll get you on that particular point. But also, okay, let's put the Ipsos study aside. Do you not think that the DA has in the last while, scored its own goals, even to a point where that may have cost it some support?
No, absolutely. Look, and I think even the poll for what it is tells you that much, because even if you include those undecided voters, they're mostly DA voters that are undecided, because it was on 59% in 2014 and it's now down to 28%, or at least 31% of people won't tell you where it's at, and that's because of problems the DA has had. People are uncertain about their vote, they're not sure where they stand, they're not willing to say they're DA supporters, and that is symptomatic of a big problem.
Do you also not believe that in the last few months, the ANC, through its president, has done some work which may have led to it actually restoring its credibility?
Yes. Well, if you use the Ipsos's own polls as a comparative tool, they had the ANC on about 42% just under during the last quarter of Zuma's last time in office, and so to have risen all the way to 60% certainly shows that something's changed, and I think a lot of that can be put down to the new president. Okay,
let's allow you to be our Mary Harris for this evening. Don't you want to make your own call?
I absolutely do not want to do that. But what I will tell you is based...
I'm not going to ask you to give you to put numbers to your opinions.
Well,
give us your opinion. Anyway.
For me, there's little point in doing that because it's just guessing. I mean, it holds no real value and it just confuses people. I think what's more important is to look at the trends, and the trends are the following. The ANC is in the increase without any shadow of doubt. Ipsos puts them on 60%. They got 62% in 2014. Their battle will see to see if they can get back up to that number. The DA had an election target of 30% in 2014. It only managed 22%, and it's currently, even at the best estimates, on around 20%. So its real challenge is going to be to grow in the next election and retain some of its support base. And the EFF is the most difficult of all three because it's such a small party, because its base is so rurally located, which are very hard to poll and track. It's very hard to know what they are. But I think they've got the same problem the DA does, in that they put all of their cards in the Zuma ticket, and now they're under big pressure to find other issues to win over people to them.